Welcome to the G.O.A.T Podcast, a weekly sports podcast for kids by kids, where it's all sports all the time. I'm your host, Saki. Welcome to this week's show for Wednesday, February 1st, 2023. Today marks the National Girls and Women's in Sports Day in the U.S. This day honors the extraordinary accomplishments of girls and women in sports. We at the G.O.A.T Sports Podcast give a huge shout out to everyone who's working to create equality for women in sports. We have a lot of results to get through from the past week. But before we do, we need to start with football. The bombshell news, that's not a shocker to anyone. Tom Brady tweeted today that he's retiring. Again. But this time, it said there, it's for reals. NFL. Super Bowl weekend is on February 12th. The matchup is the Kansas City Chiefs against the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's talk about last weekend's game. The first one was the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Cincinnati Bengals. The Kansas City Chiefs took the ball all the way down the field on the second to last play of the game. The Chiefs quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, had to scramble even with a sprained ankle from last week, but he still got into field goal range. But then, Joseph Ossai of the Cincinnati Bengals bumped Patrick Mahomes a little too late, and then there was a foul. It was unnecessary roughness on the defense, so the Chiefs kicked a field goal and won the game. The Philadelphia Eagles versus the San Francisco 49ers was the other game that happened this week. In the game, the Eagles decided to play the hardest game they've ever played and outplayed the 49ers 31-7 with 4 touchdowns because of the run game and 1 field goal. In the world of tennis, the Australian Open has come to a close, and the winners couldn't be happier. For the men's singles, the winner is Novak Djokovic. For the 10th time, he stays unbeaten in his whole career of the Australian Open. Even after the ankle injury in the middle, he fought back and came to beat Stefanos Tsitsipas in the finals. In women's singles, number 5, Aryna Sabelenka, comes behind to the win for her country, Belarus. She climbed the ladder from all the way at the bottom and came all the way up to defeat Elena Rybakina in the finals. She credited Billie Jean King for her Australian Open win. Coming back to cricket, Shubman Gill becomes the youngest Indian and the second youngest in the world after Ahmed Shahzad from Pakistan to score a century in all 3 formats of cricket. India continues to impress against New Zealand as they finish their final series. In the third T20, India crushed New Zealand by 158 runs. India take home the trophy in the U19 World Cup Women's as they easily chased down the score that England put up of 68 runs. And India chased it down in 14 overs, exactly, to win the championship. Not only did India win the inaugural for the U19 Women's T20 World Cup, but they also won their maiden Women's ICC title, field hockey. The finals have ended for the FIH World Cup, and the winner is Germany! Germany beat Belgium in the finals game, and making this the 3rd time they have won. Australia played and lost to Netherlands in the 3rd place game. Both of them lost to Germany and Belgium in the FIH semifinals. Australia and Netherlands would be disappointed because both of them were looking for the finals for the 4th time. That wraps up this segment for field hockey. Next is the GOAT of the Week, where we look at the greatest of all times in sports. This week's GOAT is Lindsey Vonn. Lindsey Vonn is often regarded as one of the greatest ski racers of all time due to her numerous accomplishments and records. She is the first American woman to win 4 World Cup overall titles and the most successful female ski racer in the world, with 82 World Cup wins. Vonn is also a 2-time Olympic medalist, winning a gold in downhill skiing at the 2010 Winter Olympics and a bronze in the downhill skiing at the 2018 Winter Olympics. She is one of the 6 women who have won World Cup races in all 5 disciplines of alpine skiing: downhill, Super G, giant slalom, slalom, and super combined. She is widely recognized for her toughness, perseverance, and dominance in her sport, which has earned her the nickname the Queen of Ski Racing. Outside skiing, Vonn is known for her community work and philanthropy. Her Lindsey Vonn Foundation aims to inspire and empower young girls. Vonn has been a global ambassador for the Special Olympics since 2012 and has strived to raise awareness and support for the organization. In 2010, Vonn received the Laureate Sportswoman of the Year award and was the United States Olympic Committee Sportswoman of the Year. Lindsey Vonn, you are truly the greatest of all time. Gather all your friends and frenemies for the GOAT Weekly Sports Quiz. The theme for today are the famous tournaments in sports. Are you ready? What sport is Tour de France for? It is an annual sporting for cycling that happens every year in July in France and has been happening from 1903. The Grand National is famous for which sport? The Grand National is the world-famous horse race, more specifically, steeplechase, held in Liverpool in England. What famous tournament is called the Masters? Held in Augusta National Golf Club in Augusta, Georgia, it is the most prestigious golf championship. It is most famous for the Green Jackets Award to the winner. If I participated in the I-Detroit, what would I be doing? The I-Detroit Trail Sled Dog Race is an annual long-distance sled dog race run in early March. It travels from Anchorage to Nome in the U.S. state of Alaska. The Ashes is a tournament associated to which sport? The Ashes is a test cricket series played between England and Australia every 2 years from 1882. The name originated in 1882 when a newspaper column described the English loss as English cricket died and the body will be cremated and the ashes taken to Australia. And that's our show. Thank you for listening to the G.O.A.T Sports Podcast. Expect a new episode weekly in your favorite podcast app. And please do not forget to subscribe. Do leave your comments and ratings for our show. If you would like your team to be featured in our weekly shoutouts or any other comments, please reach us by email at the G.O.A.T Kids Sports Podcast at gmail.com or at G.O.A.T Sportscast on Twitter. Please visit the GOATsportspodcast.com for show notes. See you next week. We have a lot of results to get through from the past week.